We welcome you to this audio series intended to provide information to those eligible for Air Force legal assistance, which include active duty military members, their dependents, and retirees. Our hope with this series, which we are calling The Art of Law at Hill Air Force Base, is that we can convey legal assistance information to you that is readily available, provide information that is responsive to your needs, and to do so in a timely manner. This series is for information purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for legal advice from an attorney.
Good morning. My name is Captain Anderson, and welcome to today's episode of The Art of Law. Today, I'm joined by Sergeant Davis.
It's good to be here with you.
So I know we've discussed SCRA previously, but I understand that you have a few more questions about it.
Yeah, I did. So last time we kind of started on SCRA, but I found some other questions about having to do with like my cell phone, a storage unit, that kind of stuff. And I was hoping to clear up some more questions with you today, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's great. So what's your first question?
So first of all, I guess this falls under the eligibility category. Does SCRA apply to my business or commercial lease?
Yes. So the SCRA protections are not limited to residential leases. The Act explicitly covers leases for professional, business, agricultural, or similar purposes. This means a lease for an office, a retail shop, or other commercial space is included.
Okay, so that helps. What are the specific requirements for me to be able to terminate my commercial lease?
So there are a few requirements to terminate a commercial lease. The first one is that the lease had to have been signed before you entered active duty, or that you signed the lease while on active duty and then received orders for a permanent change of station or to deploy for a period of at least 90 days.
So what if I signed my lease after I received my orders?
Great question. If a service member signs a lease after receiving orders, they may not be able to use those same orders to terminate the lease under SCRA.
What contracts can service members terminate?
So SCRA allows for the termination of several types of consumer contracts. So recent updates to the Act have expanded this list. Covered contracts now include cell phone service, internet access service, cable and satellite TV, gym membership and fitness programs, and home security services.
Okay, how about this? What are the conditions for terminating these contracts?
So a service member can terminate a covered contract if they receive military orders for a PCS or are deployed for a period of 90 days or more to a location that does not support that contract. And timing is very important. The contract must have been entered into before the service member received the military orders for relocation or deployment.
Okay, thank you. How does a service member terminate a contract? What's the process for that?
So it's pretty straightforward. So first, you need to provide written notice. The service member must give the service provider written notice of their intent to terminate the contract under SCRA. This can be delivered by hand, email, or other electronic means. Next, you need to include a copy of your orders. The notice must be accompanied by a copy of the military orders, or a letter from the commanding officer can serve as proof. Lastly, you need to specify the termination date. The notice should include the requested date for the service to be terminated.
Awesome. Okay, so getting a little bit more specific with like gym memberships. Can I cancel my gym membership if I get PCS or deployment orders?
Yes. So as of 2023, gym and fitness memberships are explicitly covered. You can terminate the contract without penalty if you're relocating for 90 days or more to a place where you cannot use that particular gym or fitness plan.
Okay. How about cell phone services?
So you can request termination of a cell phone service or phone exchange service if you entered a contract before receiving military orders to relocate for not less than 90 days to a location that does not support that particular cell phone service provider.
How about, I know I've got a billion questions for you today, sorry. Can I cancel my family plan?
Absolutely. So if the service member is the primary account holder, a family plan can be terminated if the family members are joining the service member at the new location.
Would I lose my phone number?
Not necessarily. SCRA allows service members to keep their phone number for up to 3 years if they cancel due to a PCS or deployment and resubscribe with the same provider within 90 days of returning.
Okay, what if I'm just deploying temporarily?
Most carriers allow you to suspend your service without charge while you are deployed.
Okay. Let's talk about internet and cable TV services. Are those covered by SCRA?
Yes, the Veterans Benefits and Transition Act of 2018 expanded SCRA to include internet and multi-channel video programming, and this includes cable and satellite TV.
What if the company says I can't cancel?
So as long as you meet the SCRA requirements, the provider must let you cancel without an early termination fee. You are, however, responsible for returning the equipment like modems or cable boxes.
Okay. Can they charge me an early termination fee?
No, service providers are prohibited from imposing any early termination charge for a contract lawfully terminated under SCRA. This includes so-called subsidy fees or balance recovery costs that some companies have tried to charge.
Okay, what about my final bill?
The service member is still responsible for any charges incurred up to the date of termination. Any fees paid in advance for service that would have extended beyond the termination date must be refunded by the provider within 60 days.
Last question. I know we touched on this last time. Extension of protections to my dependents. How does that work?
So, upon application to a court, a dependent of a service member is entitled to the protections of SCRA if that dependent's ability to comply with the lease, contract, bailment, or other obligation is materially affected by reason of the service member's military service.
Okay, that answers my questions for today. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk with me again today.
You're welcome. And if you have any other questions about SCRA or anything else, feel free to make an appointment with our legal assistance office. We can be reached at 801-777-6626.